edition of Devotions with Brother Aaron. I'm so glad you've chosen to join us. Today I want to talk and give the devotion on this subject, the unlatched gate. I heard a story the other day about two men who lived on the same street. Both were dog owners. One owned a small breed dog, and the other owned a large breed dog. Over time, a strange ritual developed between the dogs and their owners. When the owner of the small dog would leave for work, he would place his dog in the fenced-in front yard and latch the gate behind him. About half an hour later, the owner of the large breed dog would take his dog out for their morning walk. The sidewalk came right past the yard, fence, and gate where the small dog lived. It didn't take the small dog long to figure out that the same fence and gate that kept him in also kept the large dog out. Armed with the knowledge that the large dog couldn't get to him, he became emboldened with bravado. When the large dog came into sight, the small dog would run to the edge of the fence and start yapping, barking, and carrying on as though he was going to annihilate the large dog. He would even jump on the gate as though he was somehow going to push it open and get to the large dog. Through it all, the large dog never paid him any attention. He just kept his head high, his gaze forward, and kept on walking with his master as if the small dog didn't exist. Then one day, as fate would have it, the owner of the small dog failed to secure the gate properly. Unaware of this change of circumstances, the little dog began his ritual. He started yapping and carrying on. When the large dog reached the gate, the small dog backed up, got a running start, and jumped with all four paws onto the gate. Imagine his horror when the gate suddenly swung open. His eyes were as big as saucers as the swing of the gate deposited him directly in front of the large dog. The large dog just smiled and thought to himself, "This is what I've been waiting for." And he proceeded to turn that little annoying yapping dog every which way but loose. When the little dog finally made his escape, he made a beeline for the front porch and parked himself. As he sat there trembling and licking his wounds, I'm sure that the only thought that came to his mind was, who left the gate unlatched? There's some tremendous truths in this story that we as Christians need to learn. Number one, all too often we behave differently when we believe there will be no consequences for our actions. Number two, all too often we are unaware that our life circumstances have changed until it's too late. Three, sometimes it is the careless actions of others that adversely affect us. And number four, in the end, life forces us to deal with the consequences of our actions. And number five, once our actions have caused the gate to swing open, and we have been forced to deal with the consequences our actions produced, our view of the situation is forever changed. And speaking of our views changing, it reminds me of another story I heard. A woman's husband had LASIK surgery to correct his vision. Not long afterwards, the woman went to the surgeon and demanded a full refund. When the doctor asked her why, she replied, "Because he still doesn't see things my way." If we are wise, we will discover that learning to see things from God's point of view is what's really important. We will learn to govern our actions with the thought in mind, there's an all-seeing eye watching you. We will remember that our life circumstances can change suddenly and without notice. We will realize that others' careless actions sometimes adversely affect us. And in the end, each of us will give an account to God for our own actions. And like the little dog, we realize that the repercussions of the unlatched gates in our lives are not there to produce change in others, The unlatched gates are there to produce change in us. Yes, often the consequences of the unlatched gates in our lives are painful, but the lessons are invaluable and forever. Oh my, how many times have I been the yapping, annoying little dog that encountered the unlatched gate in my life, and because of my foolish actions was taught a life lesson that I will never forget. I have a feeling I'm not the only dog named Rover running in this pack. Hey, pun intended. Ponder on what you've heard today. Lord, in Romans 6:7, your word teaches, be not deceived, God is not mocked. For whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap. I'm also reminded of what Andy Rooney said. Always keep your words soft and sweet, just in case you have to eat them. And Lord, would you remind us that sometimes, unbeknownst to us, somebody leaves the gates unlatched that expose us to the consequences of our actions. And I'm convinced that, Lord, somebody here in this devotion today, other than me, needs to hear the word consequences and be reminded that there are consequences to our actions. Help us, Lord. Help us. And I ask this in your name. Amen.